Hello everybody, how are you? It's me, Saul again. DMV is changing the game, the pre-trip and skills. This time is going to start on July 10th. Okay, I was getting announced since the last year. One of my contacts sent me an alert that everything was changed on the East Coast according to FMCSA. It was a pilot program, but now it's coming to California. So now that it's coming to California, let me go to the point and let me show you guys how to perform in the new pre-trip 2023. It's going to begin in July. In some areas it's going to be early in July. In some areas it's going to pass. Okay, so let's go to the point. Okay, vamos a verlo. Vamos a start cleaning. Okay, so because it's going to be changed, this is going to be the slide, and you guys can take in this picture to the DMV, and you guys can actually test it with the picture. Okay, but remember, nothing has to be right on the picture, has to be marked on the picture, because you guys test it. Okay, this is calling the cheating sheet that you guys can take it to the DMV. But remember one thing, that pre-trip is so easy right now to do it that you guys will not need it. But I'm gonna explain you guys how to perform it any type of pre-trip on any school that you guys attend. Okay? Before we start the pre-trip, I will give you some keys. This is a fundamental for any pre-trip that you guys will perform in. When you guys inspecting the hoses and the tires, always make sure it's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. And every single part of the truck securely mounted, no missing hardware. Okay? So when you guys inspecting the metal parts, make sure it's no crack, broken, or damaged. We call it CVD, but remember, crack, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. All plastic reservoirs, make sure they're no crack, broken, damaged, or leaking because they have a fluid. Okay, no crack, broken, damaged, or leaking, securely mounted, no missing hardware. All the wires properly routed, no exposed wire, no frayed wire, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Remember, everything on the truck, once again, is securely mounted, no missing hardware. My advice to you guys, keep practice, practice, and practice. It's gonna be easy for you guys this time to perform in the pre-trip, okay? I'm gonna put some videos on two of my best trainers that I have, Rocky Jan and Robert Wiley. They're gonna show you guys how to perform in the pre-trip in the trucks that we have at MTS-TA. But these pre-trips is actually easy, and you guys can perform it on any truck, on any school. Good luck on your test. Hopefully this can help you and get you ready for your test.
Trip today. Start out with my clearance lights on top, without crack, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Amber in color because they face the front of the vehicle. The lenses are clean and clear. Go to my headlight covers. My headlight covers. Not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're clean and clear of debris. This white light and this white light, this white light, this white light, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, represent my high beam and my low beam. This light right here, and this light right here, this points to the wrong one, are not cracked, broken, or damaged, security mounted, no missing hardware. Amber in color because they face the front of the vehicle, represent my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my four-way flashers, and my ready lights. I'm gonna go out to the front of my vehicle, look underneath it, make sure there's no hanging hoses or wires, make sure there's no puddles on the ground indicating a leak, make sure my truck is sitting level. If it was leaning from side to side, could represent a flat tire, suspension problem, or a shifted load. Now I'm gonna open my hood. We use 3 points of contact over my hood, 1 foot on the ground, 1 on the bumper, both hands on the handle. I'll cover this side of the vehicle. Start out with my coolant reservoir. My coolant reservoir is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. It's filled to the proper level. If I need to add fluid, I add to the cap. The cap's in a Loctite position. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. Underneath it, there's a rubber seal. It is not excessively worn or torn or leaking. We'll go to the other side. Over here, I'm going to inspect all my hoses. All my hoses. All my hoses. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. They're securely mounted, no missing hardware. Do all my wiring, especially right here, my wiring harness. All my wiring on this side of the vehicle. No cut, frayed, or exposed wires. Are properly routed, securely mounted, no missing hardware. One of my engine oil cap is in a Loctite position. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. Underneath it, there's a rubber seal. Not excessively worn or torn. It's not leaking. My engine oil dipstick. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. If I need to check my oil, I'd pull it out, wipe it clean, reinsert it, pull it back out, read the level, reinsert it. If I needed to add oil, I'd add it to the cap by the gallon. My power steering reservoir. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. The cap for my power steering reservoir, Loctite positions, not cracked, broken, or leaking. It's filled to the proper level. Go to my steering shaft. My steering shaft is not cracked, broken, or damaged, or bent. Securely mounted by 2 U-joints. I have one here, one inside the boot. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. They are properly greased. Go to my steering box. My steering box, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. I'm gonna go to my steering components. My pitman arm, my drag link, my upper control arm, my lower control arm, and my tie rod. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Securely mounted by 3 castle nuts and cotter pins. I have one here, and one in the back. Go to my shock absorber. My shock absorber mounts. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My shock absorber itself is not leaking. I'm going to go to my leaf spring hanger. My leaf spring hanger is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Go to my leaf spring bushing. My leaf spring bushing, not excessively worn or torn. It's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Go to my leaf springs themselves. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. None are shifted, none are missing. They're securely mounted by 2 U-bolts, shim, spacer, and 4 nuts underneath. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Go to my brake chamber and my brake chamber clamp. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. They are not leaking. Go to my push rod and my slack adjuster. My push rod and slack adjuster is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Securely mounted by 2 pins and 2 cotter pins. If I were to release my brakes, chock my wheels, pull on this by hand, no more than 1 inch of play. I'm gonna go to my brake shoe or my brake liner. My brake shoe brake liner, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. No less than 1/4 inch at the thinnest point of material. Go to my brake drum. My brake drum is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. No discoloration, indicating an overheating problem. In between my brake shoe and my brake drum is free of oil, grease, or any contaminants. I'm gonna go to my inside and the outside rim. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. No illegal holes, no illegal welds. It's securely mounted by all my lug nuts. All my lug nuts. Not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. If one of them was loose, I would see a rust trail. And I'm gonna go to my tire. This is the steering tire, it's an important tire. Inside, outside, and the face of my tire. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. It's securely mounted to the rim. These tires cannot be recapped, regrooved, or retreaded. Minimum tread depth is 430 seconds. If I needed to fill my tire, if it was low, I'd fill it to the manufacturer's specification through my valve stem. My valve stem is not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. This valve stem does not have a cap. Now I'm going to close my hood. Make sure there's nobody there. Start out with my marker light. My marker light is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Amber in color because they face the front of the vehicle. Represents my left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers, and running lights. We go to my mirrors. My mirrors are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Security mounted. No missing hardware. No illegal stickers on my mirrors. The security mounted by the arm. The arm is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Security mounted. No missing hardware. Go to my def tank. My def tank is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Security mounted. No missing hardware. It's not leaking. My def tank cap is in the lock tight position. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking. Underneath the seal, not excessively worn or torn. It's not leaking. Go to my fuel tank. My fuel tank is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted. No missing hardware. It's not leaking. My def tank or my fuel tank is held on by straps. 2 straps. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted. No missing hardware. Go to my fuel cap. My fuel cap. Not cracked, broken, damaged, or leaking. My safety chain is present. It is not cracked or broken. My rubber seal is not excessively worn or torn. It's not leaking. That's right. My battery box. My battery box, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Inside are my batteries. The electrical wires, they're properly routed, securely mounted, no missing hardware. None are cut, frayed, or exposed. And there's no corrosion on my batteries. Now I'm going to go to my clearance lights up on my trailer. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Amber in color because they face the front of the vehicle. They're clean and clear and free of debris. Go to my DOT tape. My DOT tape, not excessively worn or torn, makes full contact to my vehicle. As I inspect this right here, I inspect all the way around my trailer. Go to my tractor frame. My tractor frame is not cracked, broken, or damaged. No illegal holes, no illegal welds. Last time the battery was right there. Now I'm gonna go to my landing gear crank handle. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Go to my landing gear itself. Not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. My landing gear shoe, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, free of debris. My landing gear is in the up position. Go to my supports and my cross member for my landing gear. All my supports and my cross member for my landing gear is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Some of them are welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Back of my trailer. The back of my trailer have 3 clearance lights on top. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Clean and clear of debris. I'm gonna go to this light right here, this light, and this light. Not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Red in color because they face the rear of the vehicle. These represent my left turn signal, my right turn signal. My left turn signal, my right turn signal. My 4-way flashers, running lights, and my brake lights. Go to my license plate light. My license plate light is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. As I inspected this side of the vehicle, I inspect the other side the same. Our couplings. We're going to start out with our airlines. There are no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. They're securely mounted to the trunk. Securely mounted to the trailer. Securely mounted to the trailer by the glad hand and glad hand receiver. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. They are not leaking. In between them is a rubber seal. The rubber seal is not excessively worn or torn. It is not leaking. Go to my electrical line. My electrical line. There's no cut, frayed, or exposed wire. Securely mounted to the junction box on my trailer. Junction box on my tractor. If the examiner likes to know, this is my service line, this is my emergency line. My lines and my electrical cord have proper distance to the frame of my vehicle or the catwalk. Either or will work. Moving on. This is my actuator line, or we can just call it an air line. This is my air lines. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It goes to my air ram. My air ram is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My air ram is in the lock position with these two pins through my platform. Coming back over here, my apron. The apron to my trailer is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming in here, my skid plate. My skid plate is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted by two pins and a cotter pin. In between my skid plate and my apron, there's no daylight, and it's properly greased. This is my lock and jaw lever. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware, and is in the lock position. This right here, this here, and this here is my platform. My platform is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's welded up here, and all these bolts right here hold it on. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My platform is securely mounted to my frame. By all these bolts right here, they are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Coming back to the inside of the vehicle. I'm going to point up into the middle of my skid plate. That's my kingpin. My kingpin is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming back out, my locking jaw, the bar going across. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It is in the Loctite position around the shank of my kingpin. Coming on out. When you come out, gonna take my landing gear shoe. In between my landing gear and my vehicle, I have the proper distance to make a 90-degree turn. That concludes my customs.
I'm Rocky Yang, Sacramento, lead trainer for Class A. All right, today I'll be performing my pre-trip of this truck, of the Freightliner. Starting out will be my clearance light. They're amber in color because they're facing front of the vehicle. They're not cracked, broken, damaged, and no missing hardware. Right here will be my headlight covers on both sides. Make sure they're clean of debris, not cracked, broken, or damaged, clearly mounted, no missing hardware. The clear ones inside will represent as my high beam and my low beam. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged, security mounted, no missing hardware. The amber lights on both sides will represent as my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my four-way flasher, and my running lights. Look underneath the truck, take a step back. Make sure there's no hanging hoses, no wires, or no puddle, which indicate a leak. Make sure my truck's not leaning to either side, which will represent a flat tire, a load shifted, or suspension problem. I'm going to go ahead and open up the lid. Points of contact. Over here on this side of the vehicle, I'm going to inspect all my hoses first. Make sure none of my hoses have any abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Now I'm going to inspect all my wires on this side of the vehicle. Make sure there's no fray wire, no cut wire, no exposed wire. Make sure everything's properly routed, securely mounted. Now I'm going to check my airlines on this side. Make sure I have no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Make sure everything's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Starting out with my coolant reservoir. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, no leaks. It's securely mounted with no missing hardware. It's filled to the proper level. Both the caps are in the Loctite position, not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking. There's a rubber seal inside. It's not worn or torn, and it's securely mounted and not leaking. Now I'll go over my engine oil cap, which is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The rubber seal inside has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. And it's in the Loctite position. If you need to fill the oil, I'll fill it right here through the cap by the gallon. This will be my engine oil dipstick. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. And if we need to service it, I'll pull it out, wipe it clean, put it back in, pull it back out, and check the level. Right here will be my stern shaft. Okay, stern shaft has no more than 10 degrees of play. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's secured by two U-joints, one right here and one right here. The U-joints are also not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. This right here will be my steering box. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted to the frame and not leaking. My power steering reservoir, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, is not leaking. Both of the caps are on the Loctite position, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, is not leaking. And it has no rubber seal. Make sure the rubber seal has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. The power steering hoses has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. It's securely mounted with no missing hardware. This right here will be my shock absorber and my shock absorber mount. My shock absorber itself is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted with no missing hardware, and it's not leaking. From right here, I'll move down to my leaf spring mount, which is right here. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The leaf spring bushing, it's not worn or torn, and securely mounted with no missing hardware. My leaf springs, it's not shifted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Secured by a shim, a spacer, and 2 U-bolts and 4 nuts underneath, which also are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. This right here will be my pit met arm, my drag link, my upper, lower control arm, and my tie rod. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted by 3 castle nuts and cotter pin. From here, I'm gonna move up to my brake chamber. Make sure my brake chamber is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. It's secured by a clamp. The clamp is also not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and in the Loctite position. Right here will be my brake chamber hoses. It has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. This right here will be my slack adjuster and my push rod. It's also not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and it's secured by 2 pins and cotter pins. When my brakes are released and my tires are chalk, and when I pull on it, should not have no more than 1 inch of play. From right here, I'll go into my brake liners, which are inside the brake drums. My liners are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and it cannot be less than 1/4 inch of material at this point. From there will be my brake drum. Make sure my brake drum is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'll check for any discoloration indicating overheating problem. Between my drums and my liners, I make sure to check for any kind of debris, any grease, or any contamination. From there will be my inner rim and my outer rim. This is aluminum rim. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. I make sure to check for any aftermarket holes or illegal welds. From there, I'll spec all my lug nuts, make sure they're all accountable for. Make sure they're not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and they're all in the Loctite position. If any of these lug nuts were loose, for this aluminum rim, I see shiny shaving. For a metal rim, I see rust trail. From here, I move into my tires, enter, out, and face my tires. These tires are steering tires, and these tires cannot be recapped, regrooved, or retreaded. Cannot be mix matched, and then make sure I check for any abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks. The tread up of it is 4/32 at its deepest point. If I need to check it, I'll check it with the tire tread depth gauge. From here, if I need to service it, I'll service it to manufacturer specification along the side of the wall of the tire through the valve stem, which is right here. The valve stem is not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking, and it's secured. The cap is also not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and not leaking. From there, I'm gonna close the hood. Alright, and I'm gonna start with my marker light, which is right here. I got one on this side and one on the other side. Is amber in color because it's facing from the vehicle. It's not cracked, not broken, not damaged. It's securely mounted with no missing hardware. This light will represent as my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flasher, and my running lights. Then we go to my mirrors and brackets. These are my mirrors. These are my brackets. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Make sure my mirrors have no illegal stickers, and then make sure it's adjusted to my view. From here will be my battery box. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It has no corrosion. Make sure that the wires are not exposed, cut, or frayed, and they're all securely mounted and properly routed. From here will be my depth tank. Cannot be less than 1/8 of a tank. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted with no missing hardware. There's no puddle underneath, which will indicate a leak. The cap is also in the Loctite position, not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking. From there, I'm gonna close this, move to my fuel tank, check underneath for any puddle, which will indicate a leak. Make sure my fuel tank is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's not leaking. It's secured by straps. The straps are also on secured, Loctite position, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and no missing hardware. From here will be my fuel cap. It's in the Loctite position, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, is not leaking. I'll open this. It has a safety chain, which is also present, secured, and not cracked, broken, or damaged, and securely mounted with no missing hardware. Right here will be the rubber seal. The rubber seal is not worn or torn, and it's secured and not leaking. Close this back up. From here, moving on to my tractor frame. Okay, my tractor frame is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, has no legal welds or aftermarket holes. I have another battery box right here, which is also not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Make sure to check for any corrosion. Make sure I check the wire for any frayed, cut, or exposed wires. Make sure all the wires are properly routed and securely mounted with no missing hardware. From here, moving on to my trailer. On top will be my clearance light. It's amber in the front, red in the back. Not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. These lights will only function as my running lights. Right here will be my DOT tape. I'll spec this tape the same way I spec all the way around. Make sure my DOT tape is not ripped, worn, or torn, and it's secure to the trailer. From here, moving on This right here will be my landing gear lever, which is in the lock type position. Not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. This right here will be my landing gear itself. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. My landing gear shoes, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. And make sure it's clean debris. And then it's braced to proper height. My support and my cross members for my landing gear, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Moving on to the back. Clearance light right here, with 2 sides and 3 on top. Make sure that my clearance light are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Red in color because they're facing back to the vehicle. These lights will only function as my running lights. Coming down here will be my tail lights on both sides. They're red in color because they're facing back to the vehicle. They're not cracked, not broken, not damaged, clean debris, securely mounted with no missing hardware. These lights will only function as my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flasher, my service brake, and my running lights. From here will be my license plate light, which is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. This will be my license plate. Make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Whatever I expect on this side, I'll do exactly on the other side. This will complete the portion of my pre-trip. Thank you.
We'll start out with our airlines. There are no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. They're securely mounted to the trunk, securely mounted to the trailer. Securely mounted to the trailer by the glad hand and glad hand receiver. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. They are not leaking. In between them is a rubber seal. The rubber seal is not excessively worn or torn. It is not leaking. Go to my electrical line. My electrical line. There's no cut, frayed, or exposed wire. Securely mounted to the junction box on my trailer, junction box on my tractor. If the examiner likes to know, this is my service line, this is my emergency line. My lines and my electrical cord have proper distance to the frame of my vehicle or the catwalk. Either or will work. Moving on. This is my actuator line, or we can just call it an air line. This is my air lines. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It goes to my air ram. My air ram is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My air ram is in the lock position with these 2 pins through my platform. Coming back over here, my apron. The apron to my trailer is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming in here, my skid plate. My skid plate is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted by 2 pins and a cotter pin. In between my skid plate and my apron, there's no daylight, and it's properly greased. This is my lock and jaw lever. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and is in the lock position. This right here, this here, and this here is my platform. My platform is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's welded up here, and all these bolts right here hold it on. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. My platform is securely mounted to my frame. By all these bolts right here, they are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Coming back to the inside of the vehicle. I'm going to point up into the middle of my skid plate. That's my kingpin. My kingpin is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming back out, my locking jaw, the bar going across. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It is in the lock type position around the shank of my kingpin. Coming on out. When you come out, I'm going to take my landing gear shoe. In between my landing gear and my vehicle, I have the proper distance to make a 90-degree turn. That concludes my couplings.